Hi, good morning Flosstube. Welcome to Sunday morning here in the UK. It is 20 to 9 in the morning and I have had to come out to my shed. This was going to be my craft room years ago. My partner built the shed from scrap stuff, you know, just built it from the ground up. It's not a bought shed, and as you can see, this room has plastered out walls, it's got double glazed window, and it's the only place on my property that is light. It's one of these gloomy ass days, rained all night, and the living room where I recorded my first two floss tubes is so gloomy I just couldn't. I mean, I'm pasty pale in here, but that's because I have light. So I thought, rather me be pale and have a light to show my stitching than gloomy, can't see what I'm doing. So I'm also, because I'm up here, I'm recording on my phone, so I'm really sorry if I look at the picture and not at the camera lens. I'm trying my hardest to look at the camera lens. I've put a wonder clip there to remind me that I'm looking there and not here. Anyway, hi. My name's Emily. I'm Crafty Emily here. This is my third floss tube. Thank you to anybody who's actually watched my floss tubes. What is that? That's that, sorry. It's all a bit strange. I'm up here. I don't ever come up the shed anymore because my partner has a woodworking shop just out the door, and there it's just like sawdust, so everything is dusty and I'm like, oh, my stitching, but we'll be okay and I'll dust anything off I need to. I'm blabbering. Breath, coffee, cheers. Right, it's Sunday, the 2nd of August. We're into August. I'm back to work, which is brilliant. Fingers crossed I stay at work. I'm definitely in the first few days. UK can now be flexible furlough, so I can be in some days and some days not, depending on what work they've got for us. So I'm really pleased that I'm back at all, which is lovely. Obviously I get 100% pay when I'm in work and 80% pay when I'm furlough at home, but I'm pleased to be back. To be fair, I'm pleased to be back. It's been a long time, since March. I did go back for most of June, but okay. Right, so what have I done since I last made a floss tube? We've got to the end, because we're in August, we finished. Look at my piece of paper, it's dead. The Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo, we finished, and you can see what I managed. I didn't, because I got totally obsessed with Sansui, my long dog, which I'll show you in a minute. I didn't get a full blackout. I was trying to do the blackout, but I did a last 2,000 stitches here to take a forfeit or penalty, so I could finish that line, this line, and then there's a couple of other squares. Now each one of these squares is 1,000 stitches because I did the counting, but these two forfeits are 2,000, so actually that's 18,000 stitches. I think, I'm not going to count them in front of you. I did already check. I think it's 18,000 stitches. So in a month on my full coverages to put in 18,000 stitches, I am thrilled to bits. I'm thrilled to bits. So many stitches, and that's without doing almost all. See it? It's just there. Almost all of my Sansui. Right, so I'm going to show you the big one first, it's leaning against my knee, and then I can put all the others on top of it afterwards. So I put quite a few stitches. We are talking 1,000, 2,000, 2,000 stitches, but I've actually done about 2,600. I just didn't go back and finish the other 1,000 in on my aerial. And she is here. I'm going to have to just dump myself out of view for a minute. Oh, I can see through it. This is a Mandy Manzano. It's charted by Charting Creations, I think, on Etsy. It's really wonderful. I absolutely love her, and I've got a lot of her skin done. I did a lot of... Oh dear. It's just a Q-snap falling. I did a lot of this dark background stitching. You can see the words starting to come out here. I did a lot of her hair here, and I went right down into her body and started doing the black outline for her tail. I was going to do human-like figures. I was going to do fish, things that live in the sea. I was hoping for another 2,000 stitches in her, but pressure's off now. I can just stitch on her when I want, and I'm really pleased with my progress. And that's my big old oak frame that my partner made for me in his wood shop, which I love. And I've got a little lap frame, because I generally stitch on my bed, on my lap, and he made me 2 little side frames so that the bars slot into it, so I can just hold it at whatever angle I want. It's pretty wonderful, actually. Right, so I put 1,000 stitches into Fragile, which is a Story Keep, a Haid. There it is. Dear little thing. Artwork by Kirsten Mills. I absolutely love her artwork. I've got loads of these on the go. I've got 4, I think, and loads of patterns that I've bought. So there's Fragile. So it's a Story Keep, but because it's on what I think is probably 14 count Ada, I'm not entirely sure. It's just a piece I found. Just an offcut from years and years ago. So here we go. So I put most of the stitches down here. I did an awful lot of this, but 1,000 stitches in there. I'd really like this done and framed. If I'm going to do my videos up here, I'll put them up on the wall here and have to shut the door to stop the dust getting in. Ugh. Or put them all behind glass. There's always that. I'm looking at myself rather than the lens. I'm sorry. You're gonna be like, I'm over here as you're watching. If you watch. Not many people do. Please, if you watch a lot of Flosstube and you do find me, can you put me a comment and let me know? Okay. I reached the maximum. Apparently 7 minutes is it. Obviously I don't have a very big phone, fast phone. I don't know. I'm recording on my phone. Oh, this is going to be a big repeater. So if I'm doing 7-minute chunks, I'm going to keep an eye on the time. What I was saying was that if you do find me and you do watch, could you leave me a little comment and let me know what I could do better so that I'm a bit more grippy for people to watch. I'm perfectly happy with the number of people that are watching and subscribing and liking. I admit myself, I don't often like all the videos that I watch because I watch it on my Fire Stick on my big TV, and it's a palaver to go in. You have to go in and find the video, or I have to pull it up on my phone and like them, and I do, but not every video I watch, so I'm guilty too. Anyway, the next one that I put good stitches into is my Carolyn Manning Designs Shooting Star. Absolute favourite. Oh, it's beautiful. I can't wait for this one to be done. It's just so gorgeous. And I put 2,000 stitches into this, 1,000 before the last video and 1,000 again for geometrics. Here it is. This is where I am with it. I am full coverage. This bit here is all finished, and I'm onto the colours this way. Oh, it's lovely. I'm really enjoying it. It's easy stitching. This is 20 count Ada with the easy grid. I was doing the key on it and had to bin it because it was really hard because I was doing it over 2. This I'm using 1 strand. It's perfect. I'm flying with it. It's lovely. It's really nice relaxy stitching. And then I put 4,000 stitches into the Bountiful Bookshelf. Amy Stewart, Haid, enormous, stitch count 700 by 500. So I'm sorry, my piece of Ada is enormous. It's a bit of I have a very tight space here that isn't dusty, so I'm trying to keep everything contained. So what I was aiming to do was get over to Aesop's Fables, which is the 3rd proper book in here, and do lots of prompts in Aesop's Fables. So I'll show you what I did. So here's where I was. That's the first book, and then I stitched across. There's the backs, there's the, God, what's it called? Spines. There's the spines of the 2 books between, and then there's Cinderella, and I put 1,000 stitches on this page as landscape, because there's a castle on a hill for Cinderella, and then I counted across 2 more books here and then I got to Aesop's Fables, and I got out my pen. I hope it's the eraser pen. I hope so. Only the writing's rubbed off it, so it could just be a turquoise fine liner, because we've got a lot of fine liners knocking around. Anyway, here's Aesop's Fables. You can actually see Fables coming out there, and Aesop's will be along the top here. So I put, I think, 2,000 stitches into this. You can see the birdie body, and there's his tail, which is going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm missing, how am I missing 3 or 4 of the DMCs in his tail? I thought I'd got more, but obviously not. And then I finished off my stitches here doing these flowers. I'm really happy with my progress. I'm really enjoying this. It is going to take me forever to stitch it, without a doubt. It's a never finish, but I'd love to, but I think it's a never finish project. And my last full coverage piece is the key again, a Haid again, Kirsten Mills, 14 count. I see a lot of people on Facebook groups saying, oh, my Ada's so hard, so crispy, I don't know what to do with it, I don't know what to do with all the extra fabric. This is still crispy. It's getting there, it's getting floppy, but if you stitch on it and you stitch on it, it ends up floppy. Now my key, I've put in a lot of stitches here. What I did, I've done an awful lot more of my dragon. My dragon's nearly completely filled in. Now this was my restart, and I'm doing him on 14 count, so it will be a wall hanging because it's huge. And I'm really, really enjoying 14 count. I can do this just, oh, without even concentrating on it. It's wonderful. Here we are. So my little dragon here, he's curled around the key. I don't know if I'm going to be able to insert pictures, so I'm not even going to promise. If I can, I will, of where I was last time. But there's my little dragon. So I've done a lot of him. I've done a lot of his other wing. I've done a lot of the filling in of the brick behind between him. And then there was insects. So I did the moth. Isn't that fantastic? This is going to be beautiful when it's done. So I got myself counted very carefully over. I drew a square and I filled it in full coverage. I think the moth, all apart from these little stitches just here, he is completely filled in full coverage. I've just not quite finished off the antenna, but the moth himself is done. And then for the last 2,000 stitches as the last forfeit, just to finish another line, I put 2,000 stitches in up in this corner. I mean, you can't even tell it's 2,000 stitches, but it really was. I've done a lot of this leaf. I've done a lot of the greens in these leaves. It was only 3 colours of DMC and black. Now I got a pile of Anchor Black, and I got them on Amazon. I don't know if they're Anchor. I don't know if they're Chinese Anchor, but it gets fluffy on the length. I use about that long piece, and it gets fluffy in the length as I'm stitching, and it tends to come apart like fine knitting yarn, I suppose. It comes apart and undoes. So I'm not really jazzed with it. I'm going to persist because I've still got about 6 skeins of it left, but I'm going to keep going with it. But I think you need to buy these things from proper people, not Amazon. Anyway, you live and learn. So that's the full coverages. That was my bingo. I have to be honest, I'm a little disappointed I didn't finish it, but I'm really pleased with how part 3. I'm really happy with the number of stitches I did get. I really am. It was fun, really fun. And I like, especially in Pattern Keeper, it's so easy to count stitches. On the other pieces, I use these little gibbets. How many am I on? Oh, 1645. I was actually quite close to getting another 1,000 stitches on her. Never mind. And some of them I just note down. I just note down how many I've marked off my chart. Okay, 2 long dogs and I'm done. Pandemic. I picked this up yesterday. I really need to get back to my pandemic. I'm really missing some of my long dogs. My next Flosstube will probably predominantly be long dogs because I'm really missing doing them because I've been concentrating on my full coverages and I've been obsessed. I know it's a long dog, but I've been obsessed with Sansui and I've got to get it finished. Coffee's going cold. Here we go. There we are. Oh, actually the shed's okay. The light's fine. Actually, I look more natural here than I do when I'm not holding anything up. Anyway, here we are. This is 40 count tidal. Picture this plus. Big ass old piece. It's going to not quite fill the side there, but it's going to be pretty big. I'm doing it one strand of Mrs. Sadis hydrangea silk, which I love, over 2 threads. Now my eyes are in and I'm used to stitching on the 40 count. There, that's loosely the right colour. That's the right colour. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I'm not really keeping to pages because I'm doing it on Pattern Keeper and I take the page breaks out of it because you can. Oh, I'm going back. I will be stitching on this when I get this sorted and get them spliced together, hopefully. Otherwise it's going to just be like a car crash. We'll see. Now, Sansui, last one, and I'm out of here. So hopefully this is going to be just one more bit. Here we go. Look, now I'm old school here. I have the chart pegged on to my work and I have got, I can show you the chart, it's scribbled onto everything. Here we go, look, 3 colours left. 1, 2, 3. Here's where I'm working. I'll get it off the Q-snap and show you. Now, I do put pictures up of this quite a lot, but I'm going to do like a separate Flosstube, I think, on it eventually. What I did, I literally printed out the chart, jigsawed it together, and I'm colouring it in as I go, and that's all I've got left, just that little tiny piece left there. Hopefully I've not shown too much of the chart. There's no way you could stitch a long dog from showing a tiny scrap of chart. If I've shown too much, I'm very sorry. Right, here we go. This, I did 24 hours of cross stitch. I absolutely loved it. I was going to split it between some long dogs. What did I put 26 hours work into? Just this. Here we go. So I already had quite a lot of the top finished. So up we go. There's the middle. And then the pale yellow, which is the only colour that doesn't really pop. But it kind of needed to be in there. And then down we go. Oh, I cannot see at all. Oh, the bottom. Yeah, there we go. So I've just got this tiny corner to go. I'm going to have a go at finishing it today. We will see. Now, I knew it was going to be tight on the fabric. I knew one side I'd have enough. So I started there. I knew I wouldn't have much, but I was hoping for a little bit more than that. Look at that stitch. There's 2 of those. I've got another one about here that will be an extra stitch. Oh my goodness, how close is that? So, thank goodness I zigzagged the edge. As you can see, I have an overlocker. It's there. It is dusty as, because it's covered in sawdust, because the whole place is covered in sawdust. It needs a good hose off, a good careful clean, and bringing into the house and getting going. It's fine. It's a gorgeous little Janome. I love it, but it lives up here, so it needs love and attention. But then I'll be able to overlock the edges. Serge overlock. At the moment, that is a zigzag gone round 3 times to the same kind of effect. It just made sure it was definitely the last piece. This is piece number 4. hopefully, I mean, I'm definitely going to get this in 7 minutes because I'm finished, because I've shown you my last piece. So there we go. So I knew it was going to be tight. I didn't realise it was going to be that tight. What I'm going to do, I've got inch herringbone tape, you know, the cotton natural herringbone tape. So what I'm going to do is, when it's finished, I'm going to stitch by hand a border of herringbone tape around it. I'm also going to wonder web it down onto a much bigger piece of fabric, just some plain cotton that I've got. Well, I've got material, tons of material, and then I'll frame it myself. So I'm not bothered. I'm not worried that I've got. I mean, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. It's going to be a bit of a jobby to sort it, but it's not the end of the world that I have no space at the bottom. I'm just glad. I'm glad it fitted at all. So there we are. It is gorgeous. I love this chicken eating this ant, because chickens look like that. And then this thing here, which is a bird, a heart, a pot of flowers. When you look at it from back, can you see? It's turned into a face. It's turned into a tiger or something. Isn't that amazing? When you look at it up close, it's birds in a pot with a heart, and then you pull it back and it's... I just saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. There's ears, there's eyes, there's cheeks, there's teeth. Is it a skull? Is it a tiger? It's like a hidden treat I didn't know was there. What do they call? They're called Easter eggs, aren't they? When you see something on a film that's been put in there as a special treat. Look at that, its face, isn't it amazing? So there we go. There's my rainbow sansui. Just about all of it there. And it will be done. I'm not going to make another movie. What am I talking about? I'm not going to make another Flosstube until it is finished. That's me done. So my plans going forwards this week: finish this. I have to finish it because I want to get back to Anzac. I want to get back to Dilemma. I didn't do Long Dog Leap Day Sal because I was doing 24 hours of cross stitch, and I was trying to get loads of stitches on my full coverages. So I owe my Pilgrim 2 full days work. So I'll get back to that too. I'm going to, just long dog, do my long dogs, have a little break from my full coverage pieces because I've done so much work on them. I'm going to long dog it. A little bit of hydrangea silk. Oh, it's magical. Right, got my bits of paper. I could really tidy up afterwards, I suppose, couldn't I? Okay, so last time I only had one person mention my needle minders. So Kathy Foster, I'll drop you my email so that you can send me your details. Thank you so much for watching and leaving me a comment. I'll send you this gorgeous little thing. It's got a little pretty on the back, little wooden heart, and I'll trim up again. Just go around the block. This little needle minder here, which is made from Fimo, with some, you can see the shine on it, it's resin, so it's lovely and smooth, good and powerful. And I've put some some watch cogs in, little butterfly on the back. If you want this, just drop me a line. Please drop me a line. If you fancy needle minder, I'll post anywhere, doesn't bother me. Right, I think I'm done. Yay! Did find a little tiny bit of knitting in here in my shed. These are my shed guardians, clearly. This is Noah. Here he is. And I've got, this is Noah. She's a little bit bigger. There we are. They live in the shed. They are knitted in 4-ply. Very tiny. Yay. I've had them a long time. I tend to knit tiny. If I knit tiny. I think some of these boxes, oh look, there's beads and all sorts of goodness in there. I think this little bag here, oh, here's some of my things, Easter things. This is me. Here's one of my little guys. He's a little bunny. You see him? He hangs. He's got a little face, little bunny. I tend to knit in the round. There's some Easter eggs and another little bunny. And then I've got these little guys who I absolutely love. They're knitted, they're felted, got a little bit of felt, a little bit of knit. There we are. Look. I make a lot of little thingies that go on stuff. That's the sort of knitting I used to do to sell. Then there's a lot of this box here has got. See, I talk rubbish. I talk absolute rubbish. Oh, I'm going to be finished in the 7 minutes. I wonder why it only lets me record for 7 minutes. That needs to be fixed if I'm going to do it on my phone more, because I am clearly a blabberer. Didn't really know I was a blabberer, but I clearly am. So yeah, this box here is full of part knitted things. Crikey, what a selection. Oh, it's like a million projects. Literally a million projects in there, all part done, part knitted. What actually is in here? Oh gosh, needle felting. Oh, it's like stuff up here I've not seen for years. Look, I've got merino tops. I've got felted balls. I've got needle. I'm just talking nonsense. I just haven't seen this stuff for yonks. Oh well, maybe I should come up to the shed more often. What I've got up here is very dusty. These were my prototypes. They're nativity figures. And as you can see, I assume he was going to be, these are completely handmade felt ball. This is handmade felt. He's got a cape underneath, his little hands. He was going to be a king, I think. A wise man. A wise man. Who else have I got? Oh, there's a shepherd. Oh, they're so dusty. Adds a little shepherd. You can see, again, very hairy, homemade felt. A little shepherd. Oh, this one's been eaten by something. There's another wise man with his little jewel and his little gift. Oh, and his terribly damaged arm. But he's the same, handmade felt. I got into felt making. As I say, there's not many crafts that I haven't touched. Oh, this one's got a knitted hat on. Why has he got a knitted hat? You see, there's another like a naked one there. A little handmade knitted hat. Very dusty. Very pretty. Very pretty little hat. It's obviously just fitted him. And then this wise man here. Oh, he doesn't have the base in him. They were all prototypes. There we go. There's him with his moustache and his beard. He's like a cavalier. Again, handmade felt. Right. Last little bit, just to wrap up, to say thank you so much for watching. I've gone a bit off piste with some of this thing. I've got that 8 videos to splice together. I clearly need to sort out my storage because that's what's limiting me here. I'm going to see if I can get these videos spliced together, and for now, thank you so much for watching. Brilliant. Thank you. Please leave me a little comment, and thank you very much. And I'll see you next time with lots of progress on my long dogs, and Sansui will be finished. Bye bye for now. Bye bye. Hello again. So it's a couple of hours later, and I think I've worked out what's wrong with my camera and the whole setup of doing it on my phone, and that it turns out I only have a 2 gig SD card. Fantastic. And it's mostly full of photographs from about 8 years ago. So we've obviously swapped around. So here I am, I'm out in my car and I am going to go and buy a bigger SD card. So I thought I would just take you along with me just for a little few minutes, because I figure the few of you who do watch me, not many of you are British. So here we are, nice British road, lots of roundabouts, got to get your lane, got to pick your lane. So I am heading in to my big supermarket. I need to be in that lane there. Ugh. And it's trying to rain. It's still a gloomy old day. And there we are, around that roundabout, and my supermarket, about the nearest supermarket to me. I'm about 20 miles from home. I live in the middle of nowhere, basically, and it is trying to rain on me again. I've got a green light. Let's go. Oh my god, there's a huge Eddie Stobart lorry. We'll not get in his way. And here we go. Whoa, trying to rain on us. Round we go. Sorry about that, like a double roundabout threat going on here. And in we go. Da, da, da. Oh, raining, I'm gonna get wet. And here we are. This is our big British supermarket called Asda. Dead ahead, there we are. And I am going in, hopefully. Ooh, perfect little space there, perfect for me in my tiny little car, right by the entrance. I will see you in a minute. There we go, I'm all masked up, ready to go in. Little homemade mask, jolly good. It's now got to do it in the UK, and I'm going to go in and see if I can find what I need. Hi again. So here we are on the road home, just going past a castle thing, but it's a farm, but hey. Now, this is either going to be vomit inducing, and I'm very sorry if it is. If it is, I'm totally not going to put it up, but this is one of the little back roads home. So there we go. I thought this is one of the more entertaining roads. It's still trying to rain, which is just typical. There's big black clouds up ahead, as you can see. It's just as it is. So I went into Asda. I've got a new SD card, so if this is uploaded, it means it's working okay, because I won't be able to do it without it. It's so gloomy today. What a gloomy day. Oh, raining and gloomy. Fantastic. Yeah, it was so busy in Asda. I have not seen that many people in Asda since about March, since we were panic buying before lockdown. So this is bonkers. It was absolutely madness. So many people doing shopping with families, and nobody's keeping social distance anymore because everyone has to wear a mask in shops. So no one's keeping distance anymore. So it was me standing there like a fool, waiting for a load of people to clear out of in front of me so I could go down an aisle, and people were just walking past me. And I was like, can you not see? I'm not just standing here for no reason. I'm waiting until the aisle clears so I can go down it. But no. Everyone was just everywhere. Anyway, trying to get this rain off the windscreen. There we are. So it's cutting light and dark, which isn't brilliant, and it's going to go very gloomy in a minute because I'm going up a very gloomy alleyway. See where the van is? Up ahead, just there. I'm going up there, and it's one of those roads where you tend to meet a tractor and a man with a strimmer. Okay. As you can see, this road is really only big enough for my car, and I tend to meet tractors coming down here. There we go, up we go. Let's have a look, see. Oh, am I not going to meet one today? Honestly, it's madness when you do. Okay, yep, that bit negotiated without meeting somebody. You meet the biggest things, you meet milk lorries and things, because there's lots of, this is all farmland. You meet all sorts of nonsense around here, generally. We're going to pop down into a viaduct in a minute, which, depending on how the light goes, you may or may not be able to see really nicely. It's an old Victorian viaduct. It's just down here, and you just drive down like you're just driving. Oh, maybe the light's going to be nice to us. Looks very pretty coming down through the trees, but as I say, I usually meet something enormous coming up the other way. This is my normal route home, actually. This is the way I normally come. So here we go. Oh, it's gone gloomy again. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't post this, we'll see. If you're watching it, I've obviously posted it, and if I haven't, I've not. Okay, people walking, tucked in nicely, thank you very much. Nice girls. Here we go down into gloomy Britain, and the viaduct is just there. Victorian viaduct there. I've stalled my car, as you do. It isn't my car actually, it's Robin's car, but I've got a very, and we're going down underneath the viaduct. Here comes a car to meet us. Can he get round? He can. We are actually underneath the arch of the viaduct there. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go home. So that's a very pretty Victorian viaduct. Lots of cars there, people go for a walk there. It's not close to anywhere, so you have to bring your car in really. And that's the only car I'm going to meet on this bit of road today. That's not bad at all, because usually I meet something enormous. Maybe I should record every time and then I won't ever meet anything awful. Here we go, out into the daylight. That's what's causing the difficult lighting, is when the sky is very light and the land's very gloomy. Okay, coming up to a crossroads here, and we are going across the ways. Quick check both ways, and up we go. Ooh. See, I'm not very good on the bike point. Almost all the cars in the UK are automatic, so we drive a stick. We're all just taught to drive stick. Everybody does. It's totally normal. The only car I've had that has not been a manual was my great big Chrysler. I had a Grand Voyager. Oh my goodness, we loved that car. We called it the Yank Tank, which is probably not very PC, but it was amazing, and we killed it. I actually murdered it. The timing belt snapped, and of course that means the pistons pretty much embed themselves in the cylinder head, so the car was dead. We sold it for scrap in the end. Good old eBay. Never wrong with eBay. Sold it off for scrap, but we got 7 years good use out of that car. Oh, it was excellent. It wasn't you when we got it, obviously, but and that was an automatic, and you just went clunk clink into drive and off you went. It was wonderful. Made me a very lazy driver. But this car, my little car's a bit poorly at the moment. I parked it in a ditch in December. It was that or crash, so we chose the ditch, which we had to get towed out of. That was a bit of random act of kindness. Some guy stopped and phoned a mate who came and pulled us out. It was really kind, actually. It was that or crash in the rain, rear end somebody who stopped in front of me to turn, and yeah, that was. So I damaged quite a lot of the front end of the car, the front offside wheel. Little village here, the little nice little British cottages, which is all. There we go. There's a car coming here. Let's tuck in out of his way. So I kept on driving it, obviously, for 6-7 months. And the slightly strange noise turned to slightly random steering, which turned to, frankly, very frightening noise and steering. So Robin's taking it to pieces and fixing the ball joint, and the bearing was actually missing, so it had obviously worked itself off and gone, which is why it was making such a funny noise. And the ball joint is equally yeah, really buggered, so it needs an MOT anyway. So Robin's going to fix those before it gets MOT'd, and the hope that there's not too much that needs to go for the MOT. Oh, home delivery. Tesco's here. which has making up his mind where he's going. He's not decided, he's not stopping there. Ever so many people still getting home delivery for their groceries. Tesco's is our other big supermarket, it's one of the big four. Asda's our biggest. I don't know if they're still owned by Walmart, but they certainly were for a while. He can't decide where he's going, which is the main problem with being here. You need to decide, Mr. Man, because you are in the middle of the road. You think you might be delivering to that big house, do you? Okay. There's a big old house there. I usually meet something big coming up this road too. As you can see, it's lumpy bumpy and it is uphill on a turn. So this one's always fun as well. This is my standard route home from work. I come this way every day and usually meet some guy in a huge great pickup truck right in the middle of the road. Hugh owns the road more than I own the road because I'm only in a tiny little Mazda. And my other little car, my car, is even smaller. It's a tiny little Citroen. So